As a child, I was always interested in doing something for the animals, so that's why I got into the field of veterinary medicine.
Animal for me is as complicated, as interesting as a human being. Most of the veterinarians were very much interested in farm animals and pet animals, but when you see the wild animal treatment aspect, it is not at all well studied. That's why I specifically did my masters on wildlife, so that I can bring some changes in the field of wild animal health.
As a wildlife veterinarian, right now my major goal is to work with the people to coexist with the urban wildlife.
Hi, my name is Dr. Yashaswi. I am a wildlife veterinarian who is working with the Karnataka Forest Department in Mangaluru division, as well as I run a small animal clinic called Little Paws Veterinary Clinic.
Hi, I'm Dr. Meghana Pemmaiah. I work at Animal Care Trust and also with the Forest Department.
We are helping the department in mitigating the wildlife conflicts what they have, and we help them out in rescues and treatment of the wild animals.
There is an increase in the human-wildlife conflict that we are seeing of late, and that it doesn't mean it's only including the larger animals. It is also involving the smaller birds and the snakes. So when a person sees snake, the only thing that comes to their head is it's venomous and they have to kill it. So we have to concentrate more on educating the people. I think that is our only way that we can reduce this human-wildlife conflict, and we can, help people understand the concept of coexistence.
People are very unaware of what they are living with, and they think city is only for the people to live, and animals are from the forest. It's not like that. There is a in-between space where even in the urban setup we have a lot of barn owls, we have a lot of civet cats, we have leopards in the urban setup itself. Mangaluru and Udupi, we have a lot of leopard conflicts with humans. Many majorly will be leopards getting stuck in a well, leopards getting stuck in snares or wired fences, or getting injured by vehicles. That is a majority part of rescues which I have been working with the department. The most challenging rescue what we did as a team with Meghna and me was the leopard rescue which we did in Nidodi, where a leopard had fallen down into the well.
The Forest Department, they had tried getting the leopard out. They put the ladders and cages, but the leopard was just not coming. Then the only other solution that we saw was for one of us to get into the cage, and the cage to be lowered down, and then darting the animal.
Dr. Meghna volunteered to go into the cage. So we made her sit in one cage, and we had to lower down the cage bit by bit.
I have this fear of height and water, which is a very scary thing at that point. At that point, when it was being lowered down, all I was like, okay, I just focus on the animal, don't think about anything else. If you did, then you won't be able to do justice to this. So at that point, it was all like I mentally prepared myself to just think about the animal. So then when they slowly got me down, at first the leopard was right in front of me. I did not expect that. And it was slowly growling, and I knew it was only one shot. If I stressed her out too much, then she might get really aggressive. So what I had to do was get it right in the first shot. So I calculated the dosage, loaded the gun and then darted, and it was a good shot. It went right at her thighs, and within 10-15 minutes she was sedated. Once she completely slept, with the help of one more local that came down, we put her into the cage with me, and then they took the cage up. So after we got out of the cage, we checked the leopard. She was fine with no major injuries, just minor abrasions. We gave her the revival drug, and she also regained her consciousness. She was back to being her little bold, aggressive self, and eventually the department released her back into the wild.
I take care of most of the rescue operations, with the complicated rescues and coordinating with people, controlling crowd. And Dr. Meghana takes care of the birds and reptiles majorly. And also she is coming as a part of large animal rescues as well, like the leopard rescues. We work as a team and we do it together. Majority of the darting now Dr. Meghana only does, because she is a Kurgi and her aim is like really good compared to mine. So we leave the darting part to Dr. Meghana. So in 2015, I started a small animal practice called Little Paws Veterinary Clinic in Mangaluru, so that I can build more skills as a clinician basically. So that I can help more wild animals in the future. And I also wanted to get a little more specialization in the treatment part of it. The small animal or dogs and cat treatment and surgery part is the most advanced part in veterinary sciences. Once you know some basics of surgery and basics of treatment, then you can incorporate it into wild animals, which is still a very preliminary science in India. Treating wild animals is completely different from treating a domesticated animal. The domestic animals will obey your orders and they sit in one place, or you can confine them to a small cage and make them sit. But these wild animals are very aggressive. After surgery, the sutures won't stay. The fractures will again get, like the plates will break. Treating and following up is really, really difficult. So that is one major difference what we see in wild animals and domestic animals. You can get from a small pipistrel bat to a large elephant for treatment. We have to be equipped and we have to know a lot of different anatomies, because at present we are the only facility who are actively treating wild animals. The wild animals get imprinted on us very, very quickly. When you see, when a small baby animal, wild animal sees a human being, they think that the human being is the source of food, and they get very attached to us. That shouldn't be a part of rehabilitation program. That is why rehabilitation is very, very important in our routine activity. This is not that we treat them and we can keep them in a facility where they are kept for their lifetime. That is not the aim of our treatment regime. Ultimately, we want to release them back to the wild.
We had this one baby langur that we got. The baby was abandoned by the mother because the mother died after being attacked by dogs. So when the baby came, there were a lot of maggots on her. She had a lot of ants on her. We first cleaned her up properly, got rid of the maggots and everything, fed her a little bit because we didn't know how long it had been since her last feeding. But we didn't want to keep her for a long time with us, because then once she gets used to us, it is very difficult for us to reunite her with her troop. That's when we started the whole planning of how to reunite her with the troop.
We just cannot release it back to the wild just like that. We have to see where the troop is, and the baby has to get accepted from by the troop. So we had to go there, keep the baby in one place and wait for the troop to come back. After waiting for so long and with a lot of patience, the troop came back and they were inspecting the monkey. At one moment they just took the baby langur and they just vanished into the forest, and that was a really happy moment of my life, I can say.
It was just a pure joy that now she can go back to the wild. She can just do her monkey business up with the troop.
Since I started my work in Mangaluru, I always thought this place needs a rescue and rehabilitation center exclusively for wildlife. We have a lot of rescue centers for stray animals and domestic animals, but we don't have any wildlife rescue centers. Not only in Mangaluru, we don't have in Uttar Kannada, we don't have in Shivamogga. That is the dream project of mine, to establish a rescue center where we can take care of the animals for some time till they recover and get eventually released back to the wild.
My dream is to help as many animals as possible. Actually, that's not just mine, it's even Yashaswi's motto, that we help wildlife go back to the wild.